You know, there are about 25 houses on this street, but I would only buy one. Now, when you look at properties yourself, only 3 things that you're looking for to come down to that one, and I want to share those with you right now. You know, the real estate market has been so hot lately, and as you're looking for real estate, you might be thinking about buying a property. Well, there are only 3 reasons why you should, and if you don't follow through on those 3 reasons, you might end up buying a dog, a property you don't want to buy. So let's talk about exactly how you look at a property to say, yep, this one, nope, not that one, because there are thousands of no's before you find a really good yes. We've just been talking about you buying a piece of real estate, but the real secret is, why are people selling? And they have so many reasons why they got to get rid of that property. Often if a seller is motivated to liquidate quickly, their need leads them to agree to a lower offer price or more flexible financing terms. And frankly, only 1 to 3% of the sellers out there are highly motivated to sell. And the rest of them, they want retail prices. And you're not a retail buyer, you're a wholesale buyer. So let's talk about how you buy properties at a bargain price. Do you really want to make some serious money in real estate? Well, you need to understand the 4 Ps. The reasons why people sell fit into these 4 categories. Number 1 is they have a personal problem. A personal problem that forces them to sell it. Personal reasons to get rid of a property vary widely. Whether it's divorce or debt or retirement or other factors, distressed sellers will usually take less money to liquidate their property faster. It's a hot market now, and it doesn't seem like there are any distressed sellers out there, but about 1 to 3% of them are distressed. They have reasons why they need to sell, and the first P is they have personal reasons that may have immediately come up that forces them to sell immediately, and that's what we're looking for. Where do you find these distressed sellers who have personal problems? Well, sometimes it's banks and lending institutions, and the personal problem they have is that their bank only makes money on interest. They don't make money on the real estate, so they have to sell it. And this pandemic, what has it created? Lots of foreclosures that are coming back to the banks, and they need to get rid of it. And so that's one of the first reasons. It's a personal reason, because that bank needs to get rid of it. So the second P is there's a process of managing that property that sometimes the owner hasn't figured out yet, and so they've got all kinds of problems in the management process. Some property owners sell their property at a discount because their investment is not making as much money as they anticipated. Sometimes it's a negative investment. Negative cash flow, mismanagement, or their tenants being behind on payments can put them in a situation where they want to rid themselves of the property quickly. And you know what's going to happen because of this pandemic? People will be buying properties and they have no clue what they're doing, and therefore they're going to end up with problems, and they're going to be process of management problems because they don't know what they're doing. And guess what? We step in and buy that property at a huge bargain. One of my first 12-unit apartment buildings was owned by an owner who had 72 tenants in this 12-unit apartment building, 72 girls, and the details of managing those people were driving them absolutely nuts. And I stepped in because they needed to sell it, and I bought the property and fixed that problem about management, the process of management, and made $500,000 in my personal net worth because of that 1 P. P stands for profit. Now remember, I said there were only three reasons why you want to buy a property, and yet I'm talking about 4 Ps here, and this is the third P, which is the property itself, which is one of the Ps that I don't want you to focus on. Because a lot of times when people fix up real estate, they're finding a property that has problems. For example, sometimes people sell because of the quality of the property itself. If the property is in a poor location or is simply obsolete, these properties are bad investments, and even if priced well, could cost you a fortune. Because when you go in and fix up a property, sometimes you uncover bigger problems, and there goes all your profit. So you'll notice on my hands, I don't have any calluses on my hands because I don't fix up property. Can you make money fixing up? Oh yes, you can. But at first, especially if you're a beginner, you got to watch out for this one, because you don't want to buy a property that's so run down because you're not an expert in it. And number two, if it's in a bad location, don't buy it. Can you make money in bad locations? If you're an expert, yeah. But if you're a beginner or an intermediate, don't buy properties in bad locations. It's a bad idea. The fourth P is people. And people own real estate. And sometimes because of the people who own that real estate, there are problems that are associated with that. Sometimes people sell a house not because they don't like it, but because of the people associated with it. Whether it's relatives or a soured business relationship, this can be an opportunity to find a great deal. Now, one of my 12-unit apartment buildings that I bought, I made an immediate quick cash because two partners had owned this property for a decade or so. Beautiful property, beautiful location, and a fantastic deal, but the partnership had soured. And therefore, that day, on that Saturday, when we showed up, they were in a fight. And it was perfect, because I said to them, would you guys like to get rid of this property? I knew it was way below value. They didn't know it. I tied it up and immediately flipped it and made an immediate chunk of cash because I stumbled into a people problem. So this is the fourth P, people problems. I love this chart because it uses an acronym, and I love acronyms. And the acronym is don't wanter conditions. And these are all the reasons why people need to get rid of their real estate. And you'll notice that most of them fit in the personal area, which is what I want. I don't want to have properties that are having problems, because if the property has lots of problems, I want to avoid that, at least at first, until you're more of an expert. This is where you want to focus. People have personal reasons that they want to sell. The property might be good, it might be a great location, but because of the personal problem, they want to get rid of it. And let's talk about negative cash flow, wrong management, an estate situation, a retirement. There's a lot of reasons. This one right here is ignorance. Sometimes the seller just doesn't know what their property is worth. They've owned it for maybe decades, and they've kind of not realized that the market have really exploded in value, and therefore they might be way under. And it's the price they want, but it's way below what it's really worth. And because they're ignorant of it. I have one of the students who found an 8-unit apartment building in Reno, Nevada, and it was an 8-unit building. It was a very nice property. The retail price for there was excellent, but in San Francisco, which is a 3 or 4 hour drive away, the property, that same 8-unit building, would be worth 3 or 4 times as much. So when my student advertised in San Francisco, they got all kinds of people who wanted that bargain, and he just sent them to Reno to look at it and flipped it and made $15,000 cash in 13 days because he found a seller who was ignorant of the values in another hot market. So there are 4 fundamental reasons why people sell. You want to focus on these 3: personal, process of management, or people. One of those is going to make you a fortune. So I'm in my 70s now, and in the 50 years where I've been investing in real estate, I've seen all kinds of markets, ups and downs in all kinds of markets. And as I look over my career, I figure out where I made the biggest mistake was I was just too darn independent. And I just tried to do it all by myself. And I didn't ask other people for as much advice as I should have. And so I want to advise you. I want you to sign up for a free consultation so a person can look at where you are and show you where you want to go. And this free consultation, I guarantee, will reveal things about you you never even thought of, because we all have blind spots, and we're going to show you what your blind spots are and how to make sure you can move towards the dreams you've always wanted. So sign up for this free consultation right now. I guarantee it'll be the next step in your future. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. So subscribe so you can learn more. And how do you learn more? Watch this next video right now.